Alrighty, people. How we darn? How we feeling? How we living? Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic day. We're ready to answer all your fancy questions for this week. Okay, the stream is not starting. Okay, now it is. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's up for me. I'm here. I'm definitely. We're here.
From
So we're
the
chilling.
flock site wasn't updating, is what I meant. So
Okay,
we got that updated. I had to put it through like 3 times. That was weird. But we appreciate y'all for being here with us. We're going to answer as many of your fancy questions as possible. You know, I don't know if we'll be live. Yeah, we won't be live on Thanksgiving. Like, typically we'll go live on the Thursday.
Friday. Yeah, on the Thursday, sorry.
In America. And then, I mean, do we go? We probably should go live Black Friday still. Or
I don't think
Friday.
so.
On Saturday. Saturday we'll go live still, but
on Sunday, you mean? Sunday our time. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm speaking in
their times. I apologize.
Let's make it more confusing for everybody.
We won't have a live stream Thursday night, or we won't have a live stream before the Thursday games like we normally do.
Yeah.
And
because they start so early and.
And on Friday, like we normally do on your guys' time. So just keep that in mind. We will go live on Saturday night, like Zach was saying. So schedule's a little bit different because of Thanksgiving. So go spend time with some family.
Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow, and we'll be live Saturday night. All right, so that's when you guys can catch us this week. Today, tomorrow, Saturday night. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. We got Daniel Macy, one of our OGs in the chat. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Michael? By you with back. 2 points. 2 points in the, what is it, Bravo League? I just needed Quentin to catch those freaking balls.
Oh no, was it Quentin? Was it Quentin who?
But at the same time, it was. I should have started. Well, I didn't have anyone else. Like I would have started. I think I have Shakira in that league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right. It is low-key kind of funny that your boy kind of like screwed you over.
That's okay. Hold on, let me just see who I had in that league, because I definitely wouldn't have started him. I have Shakira in that league, so I would have started Shakira, but he was on a bye week, so that was the only downfall. But that's okay. I'm still gonna make the playoffs. I'm making the playoffs in all of it.
Yeah, no, it's actually been. I think it's been my best year in fantasy ever.
It's been my best year in all the redrafts. In Dynasty, I have like 3 or 5 teams that are gonna make to the playoffs. The rest are not making it to the playoffs. So redraft has been really good for all of my teams.
It's genuinely insane because we have 3 public redraft leagues, we have 2 home leagues, and the flock league, so 6 in total. And I'm gonna make the playoffs in all of them. I have the #1 seed in a lot of them, or like a bye week. And then if you look at our Dynasty leagues, there's only 2 leagues I'm not going to make the playoffs in. Like, it's been, and this isn't like standard, by the way. I'm not typically this on point, but this year, for some reason, we're firing on all cylinders in like every league. It's crazy. So I think I'm going to miss the playoffs in like the 25 leagues I'm in. I think I'll miss the playoffs in like 3.
Yeah, that's
crazy. It's wild. It's such a good year. I've never had a year like this. But Scribbles wants to know how your back is going.
Yeah, I mean, it's better for sure. I woke up yesterday, and it's not like I slept. Yeah, I mean, thank God I woke up yesterday, and it's not like my back was hurting, but I must have done something. Yeah. Maybe it was picking up Brooks, or like I was cleaning because, you know, I get up early, and then my back just started hurting. So then I took like, you know, Voltaren, which is like a back muscle thing. Right. And normally that kicks in within like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not at all. It was like I never took it. It was like a pain. It's like a pain reliever.
Yeah.
So then, it was just getting worse. So then I just went straight to the GP, and then he prescribed me something even stronger. So that relieved it. But then I was like laying on the floor for like an hour.
You got the oxy?
Yeah. Yeah. So
is that what they gave you? OxyContin?
They gave me something along those lines.
Wow.
He was like, it's gonna be something strong, and I had to. What sucks is that I had to wait because I already took something.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
What you really need to go do is you need to go see a physio.
Yeah.
That's what you actually need to do.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't have
fix it.
I don't have like I never have back problems, but it maybe like it's fine now. It's definitely aching.
I didn't either until we started doing this as our full-time gig.
Yeah.
When we started sitting at a desk for most of our time, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I feel like these chairs are good, but I want an even better chair now. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
That's just my greedy side. It's like, like I just want something even better for my back anyways.
What's up, Styles? Welcome in. We appreciate everybody here in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Do us a favor, hit that like button to show some love on today's stream. We got a like goal today of 50 likes. With your help, I know we can get there. And I'll just walk you through exactly how today's stream is going to go. All right, we're going to go through news and notes real quick, just so we're all on the same page. Right after we go through news and notes, we will go directly to our website. All right, and we've been saying this for months now, but you guys probably know, if you ever want to get your question prioritized and, as soon as the stream begins, be the first at the top of the queue, our website is the place to do that. And if you don't have a account over there yet, you can sign up for free with the promo code LAND, L-A-N-D. You'll get a couple things for free, like the My Team Analyzer, where you can link up one of your leagues, the Expert Consensus Rankings, the Calculator. Someone made fun of me today. People are always making fun of me in the YouTube comments.
Dude,
they're so mean.
People are mean. I mean,
they made fun of the way I said calculator. I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, if you guys ever want to be more self-conscious about yourself, just make content on YouTube. You'll be fine.
You'll be bullied 24/7. That's really what it is. I don't know if you guys know, every single one of you, not every single one of you, but a lot of you are bullies, and you hurt our feelings.
Not the people who actually support us.
Yeah, not the people who actually support us, but there's a good majority that are bullies.
No, that's not true. It's literally like the
supporters.
The 5%.
It's not the supporters. That's what I'm saying. It's not the supporters, but there's a huge percent of people that always come out of their way to bully us. Genuinely, like they will come out of their way and be like, "Oh, dude, I think it's today."
I did see that comment on the Flock League actually today. Someone said I need to go to the hospital, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I have a bunch of real health issues that you don't know about." Thanks for the reminder. Big shout out. Anyway, look, it really isn't the majority. It's like the 5% of people online, and then those comments just stick out because you're like, wow, you're a dick. But anyway, we will start through the website. So if you want to prioritize your question, go through the website first. Again, if you don't have a free account, get one for free. Use our promo code at sign up, LAND, L-A-N-D. And let's go through some news and notes real quick. Jake Ferguson is not practicing. They have the Thanksgiving Day game. I wouldn't expect him to be out there with the concussion. Brandon Cooks back-to-back games with a limited practice, which is good. Isaiah Pacheco fully practices Tuesday. So if you're out here and you're going to be relying on Kareem Hunt, good luck, because Pacheco's a full participant, and he has to play this week. He has to be activated. Otherwise, he goes on season-ending IR, so he will play. Romeo Doubs, I don't think he's going to play with that concussion. Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown should be good to go for Thursday night. Tommy DeVito is a limited participant. It's not 100% he's going to play. I would love to see Drew Lock. I mean, why the hell isn't Drew Lock playing? It makes no sense, other than you guys wanting to tank at this point. Aiden O'Connell is preparing to start at quarterback, which is good. And there's no update on J.K. Dobbins' knee injury just yet, but he didn't return to that game last night. So there is a scenario where J.K. Dobbins could miss some time. We'll have to wait and see. But we appreciate y'all for being here. Let's start with Daniel, who submitted this question right as we ended the stream on Friday, I think it was. And he said, your least favorite NFL team, period.
Ready? Let's say it at the same time.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. The
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Who did you say?
Fuck those guys. Yeah, Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, not a fan. Not a fan of the Cowboys. If you're a Cowboy fan, I'm sorry, but you're just so easy to make fun of. I'm sorry. You're so easy to make fun of every year. It's our year. And it's just too easy, all right? So maybe lower your expectations and humble yourself as a franchise a little bit, and maybe it'll be easier to like you. You're not America's team. The Lions are America's team. You've never been America's team. Wake up. All right, that's our answer. Moving on. Thank you, Daniel, for the question. Tony is the first trade question. He says 6th playoff seed, rest of season, flex upgrade, and 25 upside. They would send away Tyrone Tracy and a third, and they would get back Chase Brown. A third is really not that much to pay. I'm kind of comfortable with this. Especially if you're trying to go out and win right now this year. Chase Brown looks like a league winner for sure.
Yeah, if you're trying to go out and win this year, we're happy with that. I'm okay with Tyrone. I think it just really depends on your outlook because this is the Dynasty team. So, because he also asks about 25 upside. I mean, Bengals could be a huge team for one of these running backs. You know, if they win a couple more games, they can be in that sweet spot for Ashton Genty, to be completely honest with you. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm pulling up Tankathon right now. They have the 10th pick right now. I mean, we saw Gibbs go as the top 10 pick.
The Giants could easily add someone as well.
Exactly, but I don't think it will be to the caliber of an Ashton Genty. I'm only thinking about the sweet spot, because if we're going to draft a running back, it will be a second round running back, not a first round running back. That's where I believe the Bengals are going to take somebody if they're in that sweet spot.
Sure.
Anyways, it just depends on how you feel, but I completely agree. Both teams could add a running back, which could hurt their upside.
Yeah. Moving on to Scott Jr. 1. It's a super message and says, thoughts on Waddle's value to a rebuilder. 2 seconds.
Thoughts on Waddle's value to a rebuilder.
I wouldn't sell him for 2 seconds if that's the question. I wouldn't sell him. I mean, you know, I know it's been rough, but I mean, finally he had a good game. We've been preaching that he has this upside that's very rare, and he finally had a good game, and we remembered how good he was. Hopefully the Dolphins remembered, and they're gonna continue to feed him. But yeah, I just don't think I can sell him for 2 seconds. I would have to just hold if that's the price point. But if you're buying him for 2 seconds, if those are too late, sure, I'll go get Jalen Waddle for that price.
Yeah. Look, it's not going to be a good time to sell Waddle there, so it's tough. It's a tough one. Maybe you can pivot. Maybe instead of selling Waddle, maybe pivot to somebody that is in that range for him, depending on who that could potentially be. But yeah, I would agree with you. I'm not selling him for 2 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Skinny Nerd here is the next trade question.
Skinny Nerd. Yeah, it says, do you think I ever start Evans in playoffs? So this is a one quarterback. You're sending Tyrone and Mike Evans and getting Josh Allen, and you already have Jaden Daniels. There's no point. This is an 8 team, so it kind of makes sense if you wanted to do this, but I don't think there's that big of a gap when it comes down to Daniels and Josh Allen in a points per game basis. Let me just triple check that. Jaden Daniels averaging 19.9 fantasy points. Josh Allen averaging 20.8. It's really not that big of a difference. I would just keep the players as depth just in case somebody gets hurt in the playoffs. What if Joe goes down? You already have Tony Pollard and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he didn't have the best game last week. You have Derrick Henry as well. I would just keep him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand it because like an 8-team league. But, yeah, I would rather start Evans over Debo. Like, if you could actually make this Debo, I think that's more interesting. Like, I'd be happier with that. Debo and Tracy. Keep Evans. If you really want to go this route, but I
guess he's probably not even starting Debo, you know? But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I'm willing to sell him.
Yeah, Debo's on your bench right now because Jaden Daniels is your QB1. Then you got Joe Mixon and Christian McCaffrey. Then Jamar Chase, Drake London with Trey McBride, and then you're probably starting Derrick Henry in the flex option there. So
yeah, if you want to make it Debo Samuel, I have no problem with it. You'll still have CMC, Henry, and Pollard as your backups, and Mixon. Good Lord. So yeah, I'm totally fine with it. If it's Debo, I wouldn't do it for Evans. That's right. How I would answer that one. Crush 5 here. At quarterback, it's a Dynasty 2 quarterback league, and they had Daniel Jones. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think if Trevor Lawrence starts, he's my pick here. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't start, I think you have to go Derek Carr.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he doesn't start, Derek Carr might be the way.
Carr Carr against the Rams. Those are typically high-scoring games. But yeah, Trevor, if he plays, if not, I'm gonna go Derek Carr there myself.
I agree.
At wide receiver,
Lamar, Alvin, yeah.
At wide receiver, they're considering Keenan, MVS, Brian Thomas, Devon Bailey. Hard to sit Keenan with the way they're using him recently.
Yeah, had a fucking career game.
How many targets did he have last week? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I feel like it was like 10 or something like that.
I think it was like 15. He had 15 targets last week. And now he faces Detroit, which they are vulnerable against the slot. They have been all year. So I would probably go Keenan there. That's a tough call. And then we're starting Higgins, Sutton, Bowers at the flex. I'll say this. Brian Thomas is definitely in play, guys, if Trevor Lawrence is starting. I think that definitely opens the door for him. For Tony Pollard, if Tajay Spears is out there, I'm not really sure I want to start that guy anymore. Washington's a better run defense than we remember. You can put him out there. But, these little 2 weeks where you see, like, week 10 and 11, like, oh, why are those down weeks? Why did he have 10 and only 4 points? Well, because Tajay Spears was finally healthy, and Tajay Spears took about 50% of the work almost. So yeah, I would prefer to start Brian Thomas if Trevor Lawrence is healthy. If not, then we'll go Mark Andrews and Pollard. But right now, I think it's Brian Thomas and Mark Andrews for me.
I agree.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would roll it out there. But there's a lot of context and a lot of, having to stay tuned to reports throughout the week. But yeah, I appreciate you. Again, guys, if you're just joining us, just a heads up. Most of you will know this, but Thanksgiving Day, you'll have 3 games, and then you'll have another game on Black Friday. So make sure you get your lineups in early. And yeah, it's just an important week to stay tuned to the NFL, so you know what kind of changes are happening. But we appreciate y'all for being here with us. Do us a favor, hit that like button to show some love. Got a like goal today at 50 likes. And if you do want your question prioritized, you can do it through the website. There's a link that's pinned in the comments. Otherwise, we'll come to YouTube after these website questions are done. But it's always the best place to prioritize your question. Crush here with another one says, thoughts on Achane this week if Downs is out? So it's a Dynasty 2 quarterback 12 team. They've got Nix, Daniels, Kyron, Saquon, Chase, Metcalf. I'm going to play Njoku over Cole Kmet personally. Then
Agreed.
Evans. And at the flex spot, his question was about Achane. Well, Dobbs is probably out. So it's really MVS, Javonte, I guess Waddle, Achane.
Yeah, I feel like Rico might be the guy to start against the Giants. Giants have been terrible against the run, where you can't do anything. You saw Bucky and Rachaad White go off last week. So for me, this would be Rico, and I think they play at home, if I'm not mistaken. And they kind of found their groove last week. That was a tough game to win, technically, and there was a lot of things that kind of went their way. And I'll take Rico here.
Yeah, Achane is still risky, man, because of Anthony Richardson. I mean, look, A-Rich is playing better, but there's still so many plays where it's like, man, that guy's wide open. What are you doing? Like, how is that overthrown or not even close to him? His receivers definitely let him down. There was a lot of drops, a lot of silly mistakes, dropped touchdown by a tight end, but he's still inconsistent at this point. I actually think MVS is the other name I would consider. Just, he's almost like Rashid Shaheed. He kind of is, but yeah, given your options, I think Waddle is your best play there as well. All right, Crush has another one here. A start sit tight end premium is 2 points per reception. It's a dynasty league. They're starting Joe Burrow at quarterback 2. Yeah, if Brock is out there playing, you got to start Brock. Honestly, if not, I would put Brandon Allen in there. I don't want to start a Raiders quarterback. That's your only other option. Bijan, Saquon, Malik, Sutton, Nico. At the flex spot, they're deciding between Jacoby Myers, MVS, and Njoku, Pittman. Pittman becomes interesting because of no Josh Downs. I do think Jerry Jeudy, even in a terrible matchup, is a safer play because of the way they just fling the ball out there.
Yeah, that's a narrative game too. He's playing his old team.
Yeah. I think I would ultimately still go Jacoby Myers, though. Just with how consistent he's been.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jerry Jeudy. I think Jameis is gonna continue to sling the ball. It's gonna be tough. But what we've been seeing from Jerry since Jameis has been the starter has been phenomenal. I mean, since week 8, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would say he's a top 15, top 10 wide receiver right now, and I think it's going to continue. Once again, he plays at Denver at his old team. I think this could be a huge narrative game, which could be really exciting. And he gets moved around a lot, whether it's outside and in the slot. So give me Jerry Jeudy here.
Adonai Mitchell Cedric Tillman has a concussion. He won't play. So I can see that. Look, I'll lean Jacoby Myers. I looked at my rankings. They're actually back-to-back, so I don't have a strong opinion either way here. I think the only way I don't go Jacoby is if it's Desmond Ridder. If it's Aiden O'Connell, I'm comfortable to go Jacoby. Sure. But if it's Ridder, I'll go Jerry Jeudy. It's really close though. They're back-to-back in my rankings. Snubs here with a start-sit says if I win, I'm in. Not considering quarterbacks for flex. Not sure why they show up there. That's okay. I don't want to message the devs about it. But yeah, the quarterbacks do start to show up in flex. I don't know if you've seen that, Badaki. Maybe you can message. I've been messaging too much.
Well, it's one quarterback, so it doesn't necessarily.
Well, that's why he's not sure why it's happening.
Yeah, why it's happening. Okay.
I'm gonna go Herbert this week. I love him against the Falcons. Great matchup, and he's been really good for fantasy recently. Was a little shut down last week, but still got the rushing touchdown. Aaron Jones, Kyron, Amon-Ra, CD. At tight end, would you go Laporta or Kincaid?
Laporta.
Man, imagine having this tight end room to begin the year, and you were like, wow, I have such an advantage.
Yeah, crazy room, yeah.
And now, you know what's crazy is I just looked at my rankings. None of these guys are in my top 12 this week. I have Jonnu Smith ranked ahead of them, Taysom Hill, Hunter Henry, Dallas Goedert. It's honestly, I think Will Disley should be ahead of them too. Now that I'm looking at this, it's crazy, dude. It's absolutely crazy the way that this season's gone.
At the flex, you have a lot of people here. I am going to be starting Garrett Wilson there for sure, and I'm going to be going Jalen Waddle there as well. He had a good game. He's going against the Packers. I think that's going to be a tough game. They got to throw the ball personally.
There might be snow in that game, so that is something to monitor. Let me just double check with RotoWire here because okay, no, not right now, but there was some people talking about snow in that game, but it doesn't look like there will be. There's snow with the Bills game, 49ers at Bills.
Oh yeah, give it to James. Give it to James, please, God. Please.
But yeah, that's something to monitor. But assuming the snow's not a thing, then I'll go Waddle as well. I actually would love to say Tyrone Tracy, but the issue is I'm just not 100% sure if he had such a stronghold over that position, RB1, and with the fumbles, he's had 4 fumbles this year. I just don't know if they're going to go back to a committee or not. I don't think they will, but it's a possibility, so that scares me.
Yeah, no idea what's going to happen there. That's why I would just stay clear. I think you have better options there.
Robin God, by the way, says he's going to do his first NFL game. Congratulations, man. That's exciting.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Peepov here says, White versus Pollard flex. Worried I made a massive mistake trading Bucky for White on Saturday. Thank you. Yeah, it is interesting that they used Bucky. That was the first game that they used him more. He had a higher percentage of the snaps. He had more opportunities. But I think context is also important. That context being it was 30-0 at halftime. They didn't really need to use Rachaad White. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that you could also make the same concerns about Mike Evans, but Mike Evans wasn't needed. He just wasn't needed. So I wouldn't be too concerned just yet. I think those guys will both have great weeks on and off. But Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, James Conner, T. Higgins, Puka, Travis Kelce, and then I'm starting Rachaad White with confidence over Tony Pollard personally. Love their matchup this week against the Panthers. I think both of these running backs are going to have pretty decent days. Best matchup in fantasy football. So this would be Rachaad White for me. I know Jaden Reed is there. He's a fine option as well, but I have more confidence in Rachaad White personally.
Yeah, I would go Jaden Reed, especially with no Romeo. I think that might help him in that narrative. But yeah, Rachaad White seems like the safer floor right now in this scenario. So I wouldn't be upset if you go that way. Mello BR is next. Appreciate you. Star sits, 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start 8. So he's considering at the wide receiver Demario Douglas and Cedric Tillman. With Cedric Tillman, if I'm not mistaken, didn't practice today again.
He won't play, I don't think.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play. I'll triple check that, but I would go Demario Douglas there.
Yeah, don't expect Douglas to or Cedric Tillman to play. He left the game with a concussion. It's very rare that someone leaves the game with a concussion and comes back the next week to play. I don't think that's happened this year, actually. So
he had, well, technically it's longer. Like he does have an extra day.
Yeah.
I would say this, like, if Cedric Tillman does end up practicing tomorrow, and he's looking like he's trending towards to play on Monday night, because think about, he played on Thursday night and now he's playing Monday night, so he actually has, I think, an extra day and a half to kind of recover potentially. But I guess you'll have that time to figure it out maybe by Saturday night, if he's going to be playing or not. I would say if he does play, I'm starting him over Demario.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. I don't think he plays, so. Mello BR here. Start sit. 12 teams start 7. They've got Jalen Hurts, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Puka Nacua, Tyreek Hill, Cade Otton at the flex. Well, Pacheco's back. You've got Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Bucky Irving. And it's crazy that I'm actually considering Bucky Irving here because the matchup is just so good.
What's happening with Aaron Rodgers? Is he playing?
I assume he's playing. We haven't heard any update. You know, they kind of dropped that bomb last week, and no one's really like remembering it.
Yeah, but I feel like if he wasn't going to play, we would know by now. At least
I agree,
that's what I think.
Anything's possible. Here's what I'll say:
they had a week to figure it out on their bye week, and they would have came out with confidence. At least, once again, my expectation of like, all right, Tyrod Taylor's going to be our starter.
I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I'm not sure that Bucky isn't your best option, though. Bucky versus the Panthers, the way they're using their running backs, are we sure? I know Garrett Wilson's so good at football, but are we sure Bucky is not the best option?
I think maybe what we need to start doing is putting respect on the Panthers, because they played pretty well against the Chiefs. And it was supposed to be a Kareem Hunt game, and he didn't go off the way we were all expecting to. I mean, he still had double-digit points, 11 points. But
I mean, I get that, but that's one game. They've been dominated all year long. You know, they're still by far the best matchup in fantasy, even when you adjust for schedule.
Yeah, and look, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think they have been playing better. I would say, you know, the last 3 games. I think if it was since who they played, was it New Orleans or Denver when they were playing really well, or maybe us, but that was before their bye week, I guess. Anyways, not saying they have turned it around 360, but they got a little confidence in them. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrone averaged 5.7 yards per clip, over 100 rushing yards. Alvin Kamara had 27 fantasy points. That's their 2 matchups before Kareem Hunt. I just think they played well, but I still think they're a great matchup. I think Bucky Irving is your safer floor. I really do. I mean, look, we've already seen 2 weeks in a row of Garrett Wilson busting. And yes, when did Devontae Adams come back? When did Devontae Adams come to this team? It was week 7 versus Pittsburgh. So if you look week 7 onwards, I want you guys to look at this real quick, okay? Week 7 onwards for Pittsburgh, or for Garrett Wilson, he had a 13-point game, a 16-point game, a 30-point game, and then a 9 and a 5-point game. So really, there's been one matchup you've been really in love with, the 30-point game versus the Texans. There's been a couple you've been all right with, and 2 that have been complete busts. I think if you look at Bucky, I mean, the way they're utilizing him, the matchup ahead of him, I think he's a safer play here. But I can recognize that Garrett Wilson probably has the highest upside. So I think it depends on what your matchup looks like. If you are, positioned to win, I will put Bucky in there. If you need real upside, I will put Garrett Wilson. So I think that's how I would roll with it, depending on the matchup that you face on the opposite side.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson still.
Yeah.
But I can understand where he's coming from. I mean, you also have Davante Adams, so GG's.
Yeah. Well, watch you start Garrett Wilson and then Davante Adams goes off. I mean, that's going to be the nature of this.
That's just unlucky, to be completely honest with you. CRB56, he says, help at tight end and flex leading on in Hiring. So at the tight end position here, TJ Hawkinson or Cade Alton. TJ has been, if I'm not mistaken, he had a pretty good game last week.
Oh yeah, dude, he had over 100 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, he did really well. Cade Alton wasn't necessarily needed to be utilized, so I'm just gonna go TJ just with the safety, just in case that Panthers and Bucks game kind of goes the way the Giants game did. With that narrative, because they are playing at home with the Cardinals. TJ is. And then at the flex position, I will be starting Kyren Williams here.
I will too.
DK.
I will too. Yeah, so great matchup against the Saints. He should bounce back in a big way. Kareem Hunt actually outscored him last week. I know we were following that one. It was close. They were both disappointments. It's frustrating because the usage in the air is what's really killing Kyren Williams now. It's just not getting much targets anymore with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua healthy. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. Kyren Williams. On to the next one. Trey 101. Need to secure the W. And it's a 14-team start 7. Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike Evans, Davante Adams, TJ Hawkinson. At the flex, they're starting Tyrone Tracy. I wouldn't make any changes here. I wouldn't
make anything either.
I'd start Hawkinson there. I'm not going to play Odunze or Hopkins over Evans, Adams, or Tyrone. Hopkins, his usage is really weird right now. I mean, it's good that he's getting into the end zone, but back-to-back weeks under 50% of the snaps, I feel like they're just saving him for the playoffs. Averaging about 5 targets per game through 3 weeks, that's tough to rely on, man. I think you need a touchdown or you're going to be disappointed.
I agree.
Yeah, he's not an auto start for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we have another question here.
Matt Bear
here says, I appreciate y'all so much. Happy Turkey Day. Need help. It's a must-win week in order for playoffs. All right, let's try and help him out here. 8-team start 7. So, a smaller format. Josh Allen, look, it's an interesting question because the weather is a little bit concerning. But with the way Josh Allen rushes the ball himself, I just don't think we can sit him. But there's a 71% chance of snow. That's kind of concerning, no? I mean...
Oh, yeah, give it to James.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. Like, if it does, you'll have to monitor this closely. That's the night game on Sunday night. But the Bucks are an afternoon game. So you will have time to kind of monitor this. If it is going to be blizzard conditions, I would be okay to flop towards Baker, who has a great matchup versus the Panthers. But as of right now, I'm going to go Josh Allen.
Agreed.
At running back, wow, so many great options. You can't sit Chase Brown, in my opinion. James Conner, Rachaad White, Tyrone. I think I would prefer probably Rachaad over all these names versus the Panthers. At wide receiver, a lot of great names again. I mean, I know Justin Jefferson was bad last week, but that was really his only bust game this year. I still think you have to play him against the Arizona Cardinals. I would personally play CeeDee Lamb as well. At your flex spot, I'm probably going to put George Pickens in there versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Sutton is also a great play as well. These guys both have great matchups. But that's how I would set this lineup. You have so many good options. I mean, that's the nature of a 18.
The only thing I would do,
7.
I would start James Cook or James Conner.
Against the Vikings, though, they give up the fewest rushing yards per game.
Yeah, I think I'll still do. I think he gets utilized in the air, which is what I'm going to be leaning on there. I guess Rachaad White kind of does that as well, but he's splitting carries, and James Conner is not necessarily splitting carries with Trey Benson. So that's kind of my thought process there. Like, the dump balls have to happen, and that's kind of what happens when they're down. You know, you saw it this past week against the Seahawks, even though he only got 7 touches, but I think that was one of his lowest touches this year. He had one against Green Bay, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where he got hurt against Green Bay. He left that game.
Yeah,
he was in and out. I don't know. I'm still gonna go there.
Yeah, look, that's fair enough.
I like Rachaad White. I like Rachaad White still. Like, I just
hate that matchup. Love Rachaad White's matchup. Hey guys, we have to say this every once in a while on a stream, but if you're spamming a question in the chat, it's not going to get answered. Okay, we'll put you in a little timeout. You're welcome to come back in about 5 minutes. We appreciate you. We love you, but you're just making the chat worse for other people. Okay, so don't spam in the chat. We try to make it super clear exactly how the stream goes each week. So again, questions through the website are first, then we'll come to YouTube. But spamming it's like a one-way street to get your question not answered. Okay, so but Badaki would start James Conner. I hate the matchup. I start Rachaad White. Love his matchup, but for volume, Badaki would go James Conner. So you can make a decision there based off of what you feel, Matt. We appreciate you, man. Trump Force here with the start sit. Appreciate you. Thanks for the love and the support. He says, flex decisions, rough. Nobody wants to trade in my league. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys and your family. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, everybody watching, including you, Trump Force. We appreciate y'all. Another smaller format, an 8-team start 7. Jalen Hurts, Joe Mixon, Bijan Robinson, T. Higgins, A.J. Brown, Will Disley. I'm surprised that's your best option in an 8-team league, Will Disley, but I guess that is. And the flex spot, I think you should. Drake London and Aaron Jones are both very interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Drizzy.
Yeah, I'll go Drake London as well. I see that as a high-scoring game with the Chargers Falcons.
I agree.
Yeah, but Will Disley can't be your best option with nobody on bye week. I mean, let's package James Conner and Disley, or James Conner and Ladd, or James Conner, and Juwan Jennings, or Aaron Jones in one of those names, and let's go get a upgrade at tight end. Yeah, that's just not good enough in an 8-team league. Let's go get a Hawkinson, and a Njoku, a Kittle, Bowers, McBride, a Kelsey, one of these top names. Let's try and go secure the bag with one of those. But yeah, we appreciate you, man. Extra little donation you added on top. I want to give you a free start sit voucher that you can use at any time. Just want to say thank you for that extra donation on top of the question. Very kind of you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Trump Force.
Do we have any more questions?
I think we do have Gay Lucas here. He says, based on my team, should I trade Monty and Jason for CMC? 1 quarterback, 10 teams, start 7. So you currently have Josh Allen as starting, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, DJ Moore, Malik Neighbors. Then you have Sam Laporta, and then Justin Jefferson.
So in a start 7, you're starting Allen, Bijan, Gibbs. You're starting Neighbors, Jefferson, probably Taysom Hill at this point, and then at your flex spot, you're starting either DJ Moore or I guess CMC if you make this move. Yeah, I like the move to CMC. I would rather get a tight end though.
I was just hold. It's not that I don't like CMC. Like, yeah, his upside is high, but I just feel like Monty and Jackson Smith, and at least the way they've been playing, is kind of what CMC is putting out right now. Like, CMC is not that 22, 23 plus averaging per game that we saw last year. I mean, that wasn't our expectation. Obviously, we had to lower it, but
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Brock Purdy wasn't healthy this week, and they haven't been on the same page. I do think he's still going to be a league winner personally, and the fact that you can't start these guys anyway.
I just think, like you can't. You're not going to start CMC either.
Yeah, you are.
Who are you going to start CMC over?
DJ Moore, in the flex spot. We just talked that through.
Oh, right. Okay, sure. I think I just feel more confident with what Jackson's been doing. I feel more confident what Monty is going to output. Like, I just don't have the confidence the way you have for CMC. Yeah, that was last week. I would just rather keep the players that I have.
Yeah, before last week, he was averaging about 20 touches per game. I think in that offense, they're going to figure stuff out. I really do. So I'm still team CMC here. If you want to make a counter and remove JSN and, I don't know, add DJ Moore instead, then I'm fine with that. There's no problem with having both Monty and Gibbs. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah. I think this is in a 10-team league. I think you'll be happy you traded for CMC when it matters the most, but I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong before. But I get where Badaki's coming from, but I just don't think you need these other guys, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Trump Force is here with a super chat. Says, tight end, go get TJ, Mark, Taysom, or keep Disley. All right. TJ Hawkinson would be my answer there. Very, very comfortably, TJ Hawkinson. His rest of the season schedule is great, including the playoffs, and he's been so good in limited action, and he's just going to get more and more snaps, more and more opportunities, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Completely agree. I think we have another one here from Drew. Once you refresh.
Yes, go ahead with Drew here.
He said,
again, guys, by the way, sorry to interrupt you there, but if you do want to prioritize your question, the website's the best place to do that. I'll put a link in the chat. You can also check out the pinned comment. But once we're done on the website, we will come over to YouTube chat. We appreciate y'all. But let's go here. Drew says, who to start this week, McLaurin, Tyreek, or Bucky? Go ahead.
Another one that's hilarious.
I have
I'm gonna go Terry here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm interested. The only reason why I was hesitant was because, if Terry doesn't score that touchdown, what would that outlook have looked like? And then it goes into overtime, which gives him more opportunity to score. So I think that week, those big plays saved him, and going into overtime, I think he only had like one target. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he had like one or two targets going into the halftime, and we were like, "What the hell's going on?"
That
was really similar to the Philly game.
Yeah, to an extent. I was going to say Tyreek Hill here. I was going to say I have Terry McLaurin ranked the lowest I've had him in weeks. Wide receiver 27 for me this week. He's still in play, but I hate this matchup versus Tennessee. Teams are starting to figure out Cliff Kingsbury's offense. They are double, triple teaming Terry McLaurin, and he's giving Terry McLaurin no layups. And more specifically, if L'Jarius Sneed is healthy, then I don't want to play Terry McLaurin over a Tyreek Hill. So, I wonder if L'Jarius Sneed is going to play. Look, if L'Jarius Sneed plays, then I'm not gonna play Terry McLaurin. I'll play Tyreek Hill.
I actually think he was placed on IR, by the way.
L'Jarius was? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Helpful. Yeah. I was thinking this because you said that a couple times, and I was like, I actually just think that he doesn't want to put Daniels in harm's way when it comes down to corners, like top corners. But that was when I think about that, like Terry hasn't gone against top corners outside of, and yeah, he hasn't gone against top corners. Well, if you think about it.
Let's be honest. What's the guy's name? Mitchell for the Eagles. Incredible corner. But if you watch the game versus the Eagles, he was double and triple teamed all night. Literally. 2 high safety, sometimes 3 guys on Terry McLaurin. The issue is there's no layups in the game plan for Terry McLaurin right now. But I would still start Tyreek over him personally. I don't trust it right now if I have better options like that. Like his flex is Bucky or Terry. I'm gonna go Bucky. I'm going to go Bucky versus the Panthers. Like you said, if there wasn't that, like, how replicable is that game that Terry just had? It's not. I have him in the flock league. I'm glad. Like, I love that happened. But the way they're using him right now should scare you. I'm open to trading Terry away in the flock league if anyone's watching. I mean, yeah, he had, like, a terrible game before that. Very rare play where, everyone knows you need a touchdown. And for whatever reason, the defense just lets you go all the way down the field.
I just feel the same way with, like, I feel like the body of work that we've seen from Terry just feels more comfortable than what we've seen from Tyreek. The context is different for Tyreek because he didn't have 2 or 4 games or 5 games. But even when he did come back, it's like, damn, like, this is still not up to standard with a 13, 12, 11.
They will need Tyreek against the Packers, though. They're going to need him to be an important part of their offense, I think.
Sure. I mean, Titans have been playing pretty competitive ball. Will Levis has been doing better. I'm not saying they're going to be lights out, but it hasn't been an easy matchup.
But I think there's a blueprint for Washington. Stop Terry McLaurin, double, triple team him, and you'll win the game.
Sure. I'm still gonna go Terry. I would do the complete opposite, Drew, and I know it's gonna makes your decision more difficult. I will go Terry, and then I'll go Bucky Irving, but I can understand going Tyreek and then Bucky.
Sure. Yeah,
so
look,
I would say Tyreek, which sounds crazy.
I get it. As a Terry McLaurin owner in the flock league, I don't like what I see right now. I need to see adjustments, and Cliff doesn't sound like he's ready to make them. So that's tough for me, but I understand. You've got, 2 different opinions there, and, follow your heart with it. We've got Adam A.R. Fox. They're starting Bo Nix. How about that, man? Love to see it. Who does Kyler Murray play this week, though? Kyler Murray and Bo Nix.
He plays the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken.
Plays the Vikings. That's a tough matchup.
And Bo Nix plays the Browns at home.
Yeah, I guess Bo Nix is the answer.
Not that I'm not scared of the Browns, but they just haven't been up to standard this year. So I'm going to go Bo Nix there. And at the flex position, you are considering a couple of different guys. Marvin Harrison Jr., David Montgomery, Jalen Waddle, and Isaiah Pacheco.
I feel like you have to start Monty.
Yeah, he has a safer floor. Marvin Harrison going against a tough. It's not really tough.
It's actually a good matchup. I love Marvin this week.
Yeah, it's not a tough. It's not a tough matchup. Monty against the Bears.
Bears are a top 10 matchup for running backs.
And they play at home. This is Thanksgiving. Give him the turkey leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Monty there.
I'm with you. I'm with you there.
All right, we do have another question, I believe.
Dylan.
Or am I making that up? Yeah, Dylan, go ahead.
Dylan, yeah, he says Garrett Wilson and Pollard for Achane, or what other moves should I look to make? Thanks for the input.
I love this personally.
Yeah, I like this trade as well. I mean, looking at your team, this is one quarterback, so it'd be Bo Nix, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
And then you have a wide receiver is DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Dallas with Devon in the flex. So it definitely makes your team better. I feel like if anything, you should be trying to go and get a wide receiver. Maybe not from this team, but like, can you do the same deal, Tony Pollard and Garrett Wilson, and maybe upgrade at a wide receiver position? Because DJ Moore and Tank Dell are not holding you down. Neither is Calvin. I mean, Calvin really is doing better, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think you have the running backs that you're fine. You don't need to get another running back, but it does help. Not saying it doesn't help. It does help.
Yeah, I would do the deal. I just think it makes your lineup better overall.
Yeah,
sure, you'd rather start Garrett Wilson over Calvin Ridley, but I mean, would you rather start Calvin Ridley in the flex and Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, or Calvin Ridley at wide receiver and Devon Achane in the flex?
Get you.
So
I guess basically I'm just trying to see if I can help my wide receiver position more than my running back position. And if I can go out and do Tony Pollard and Garrett Wilson and get my cameras off, I have no idea why. Why does it do that?
I don't know.
And go out and get another, let's get a top wide receiver. Let me see. That's what I would be doing, essentially. Okay. Players I would go out and try and target really quickly. Can I go out and get a Cooper Kupp, a Drake London? Maybe not for this deal specifically. Maybe Nico Collins. Can I get a T Higgins somehow, some way? Anyways, just a couple of names.
Yeah. I still go back to like Achane is the better flex of any of those names in my opinion. But
sure.
You know, I think now Garrett Wilson kind of enters the same range as like a Ridley DJ. Which is sad, but I feel like it's true. It's a tough call, but I like the deal. I think that's all the questions on the website. Let me just double check. Yes. Okay. That's all the questions on the website. Again, guys, you can ask a question through the website at any moment. We're going to go to YouTube now, but if any questions pop up on the site, we'll go right back there. And the first super chat was from Fred Boone. Shout out to Fred. Appreciate the love, man. Says, Leggett, Mooney, Tillman at flex. Downs is injured. Leggett, Mooney, Tillman. This would be Mooney for me. Leggett, it's so funny when you think about the Panthers this week, because if you were to start a Panther on any week, it's this week versus the Bucks. It's a great matchup. But then you have to ask yourself, well, who the hell do I start? David Moore just had 20 points. Adam Thielen's going to get more opportunities. Jalen Coker didn't play. What if he's active? Leggett could be a big play threat. It's just too confusing at the wide receiver spot there. Next one is from Michael. What's up, Michael? He says, half PPR Yahoo work league, I guess, is what he's saying. 6-6, Ridley, Pickens, or Vele. This is George Pickens for me. Definitely George Pickens. Yeah. I think he's going to have a great game. It's a great matchup. I'm a big fan of him against the Bengals this week. And then if St. Brown's out, I will go Ridley. But I think St. Brown will play.
I agree. I think he plays as well. Appreciate you there, Michael. Dylan, he says, oh, this is the one that we just did. Thank you so much for also donating here on YouTube. But yes, we would sell Garrett Wilson and Pollard for Achane.
Yeah, we would. Unless it's a different person and it's the same question. But it's
the exact same team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same person. Dylan Liu. Michael,
you, thanks for that.
Yeah, PPR Hawkinson or Amari Cooper. This would be Hawkinson.
Yeah, I agree. Mark Cooper is not trustworthy at this point. Let's be honest. He's just, I don't like the teams who have traded for wide receivers outside the Chiefs trading for D-Hop. I just don't understand what they're doing. What is Amari Cooper's role in the Bills offense? What is Deontay Johnson's role in the Ravens offense? It's like, why did you trade for these guys? I don't understand it. By the way, we did get a question on the Flock Fantasy site. So we will go right back there. But yeah, Badaki and I would both go Hawkinson there, Michael. Okay, so the Waffle Houser says, Terry, how do we trade him in Dynasty? Always undervalued, and I've got him in 4 leagues, and I'm competing. Well,
I think it's a great question.
It is a great question. Well, the first step is you have to find a contender, right? Because nobody in a Dynasty league who is rebuilding is going to want to trade for Terry McLaurin. No matter if that's right or wrong, they're not going to want to do it. You know, they probably are in a league with max points 4, reverse max points 4, you know, things like that. I'll tell you, I traded him in a rebuilding team. Now, this was October 16th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let me upload this screenshot so you can see exactly the deal that I sent. I think you have to find a situation in which a contender has a player they can't use right now. Okay, and I'll explain this in a second, but names that come to mind, your camera just went off again.
I don't think I know why then. I just moved my foot onto the wire and I did that on purpose. Okay. Good to know.
So here's the trade that I did again, October 16th. So not too long ago, but we sent away Terry McLaurin, Dobbins, Tucker Kraft in a 3rd. We got back Josh Downs, Trey Benson, Jalen Polk in a 2nd. So I sent this to a contender. J.K. Dobbins is a usable asset right now for a contender. Me as a rebuilder, a guy who's been through multiple injuries, who has no long-term contract, I can send him away. I don't need to bet on J.K. Dobbins while I'm rebuilding. I don't need to bet on any running back in a rebuild. At that time, Anthony Richardson looked terrible, and Josh Downs looked like a tough asset to own, right? But and I took on some risk with Jalen Polk, did the second and third round swap. Okay, what you need to find is the Ayuk owner, right? That's an example. The Ayuk owner who is trying to compete right now. You need to find the Rashee Rice owner is a good one. But you'd have to pay a lot extra on Rashee Rice. But that's not a bad one. The Chris Olave owner who's trying to compete right now would be interested. Like these type of contenders. That's how you have to do it. You know, help me out here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would agree. I would do that. I think for me, I would approach it a little bit differently in the sense of, yeah, it can be a contender, but I think there's a lot more security now, in my opinion, with Terry McLaurin. Yeah, they need to go bring in somebody else, but what if that somebody else is through the draft? What if that somebody else is just a good solid wide receiver too? Or do they bring in a T. Higgins that can surpass a Terry McLaurin? I think there's different ways to look to think about this. I think Terry McLaurin, yeah, he's 28, 29 years old, so he's an older asset, but hasn't had a quarterback of this caliber. So, I mean, at the end of this year, when people see Terry McLaurin finishing as a top 10 wide receiver, if I think he's at that right now, people are going to say this is the highest he's ever finished, and he has Jaden Daniels. I think that's the selling point right there, no matter the price. And well, not no matter the price, but that's already the biggest boost that you're going to be getting for Terry going into the offseason. So I think you're going to have a little bit more wiggle room depending on how you see this. I think you can do a Terry in an add-on for T. Higgins, Terry in a DK. Would you want to do Terry in a Lamb McConkey, or Terry for Lamb McConkey, or Terry for Rashee Rice, like Zach said, or hell, even a Jackson Smith and Jigba? How can you add on to something?
You're not getting that done. No,
probably not.
He's
probably
a
not
top
Jackson.
10 wide receiver on KTC. Yeah. That's not possible.
So I'm just saying, along those lines right now, those are some players you could potentially get. Maybe DJ Moore, I would also throw in. I would be looking into. He's a younger asset. I don't think Rome Odunze is going to surpass him. I think it's just more like a Jordan Addison, Devonta Smith type of thing. I think DJ Moore is the superior guy there. That's my opinion. So that's the way I look at it right now, personally.
You know, KTC isn't perfect, but I think they're a good indication of what people think. He's wide receiver 27 over there. You know, whether it's right or wrong, I think with age, I just think we have to lower expectations. That's why I say you have to go for like underperforming players and players who are injured. Like I said, Ayuk, Tank Dell, Jalen Waddle, Rome Odunze, like these underperforming players who are a little bit younger, Chris Olave. I think Jason's going to be real tough right now, dude. He's like, people are obsessed with him for a good reason. But yeah. Any other names real quick before we move on?
No, maybe I don't know if you said Jalen Waddle. So we said Brandon Ayuk, Jalen. I'll say Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave. Maybe you want to do T. Higgins if you can, if he does get injured again, hypothetically. Rashee Rice. Where's Rashee Rice in Keep Trade Cut right now? He's wide receiver 14.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
But I'm happy to do that and add something to get some of those guys. Like I kind of mentioned that Zach, are saying it might be tough. I'll do it for Terry.
You know, he mentioned he's competing. If you're competing, then you probably just hold Terry. But it's gonna be hard for you to sell Terry because he's an older player, and people in Dynasty don't like him because of that. And if you do sell him, you're gonna have to go for a player that people can't use right now. You have to give them a usable asset at this point. Hopefully that makes sense, Waffle Hauser. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for that donation. I don't think we have anything else through the website. Oh, we do. It's a team review, though. A redraft team. So let's go through a couple super chats, and then we'll get to this team review for Jay Dollar$. Is that cool? Let's go through like 2 or 3 super chats first.
We have 2 more left, so let's finish that, and then we can go to Jay Dollar$. Achane was next here. He said trade away Jonathan Taylor for Bucky and JSN. Neighbors rest of the season good. So trade away Jonathan Taylor for Bucky and JSN.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I've lost faith.
I'm okay with that as well. Michael Hurts or Herbert 2.40 yard bonus per PPR. I'm still gonna go Jalen Hurts there.
Same. Yeah.
If he's like a QB1 or QB2 on the year so far, you just gotta continue to ride that.
Yeah. I mean, definitely understand like the bonuses, but I still think Hurts is your best option, especially with the way, how he operates on the goal line. But all right, we do have a team review. And you know what? We haven't been able to do a playbook for a redraft team, so this will be the first playbook we do for a redraft team, Padaki. Let me get that out real quick. Team playbooks. Let's see. Redraft. We need a template. So let me copy a template here. Where are we at? Let's see. Make a copy.
We are going to review
J dollar signs here. Yeah, I'm excited, man, because we haven't been able to really showcase. Like, it's a weird time of the year now on Redraft, so we haven't really been able to showcase our playbook, which we just released on the Dynasty channel. So if you guys are out there and you want a redraft team reviewed, it's a good time to kind of get one in right before the playoffs. And do we want to label like the redraft teams with the number 1, or do we want to just continue?
Nah, I think I know. I have an idea. So it'd just be like R01. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so let's do R01. And we've got J dollar sign with the money logo. Cool. So if you guys are listening, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? What's a playbook? Well, this is what the playbook looks like. All right. This is like a visual representation of everything we're going to say when we review your team live. You can see your likelihood of the playoffs in the top left. You can see your untouchable names, guys that we would not suggest moving, names that we would suggest holding or dropping heading into the playoffs. You'll see 4 of our best recommendations for trades before we get into the playoffs, the positional priorities of your team, and then the chalkboard is going to have a bunch of ideas there of trades and different ideas that we kind of talk through as we go through and review your team. So shout out to J dollar sign getting our first playbook on the redraft side of things. Dynasty, it's been popping off, but on redraft, this is the first one. Just so you know, J dollar sign will review your team now, but that playbook will be sent to your Flock Fantasy message tab in about 48 hours. Okay, so the same section where you submitted this, you'll see your review, and then in 48 hours you'll get a message with your playbook sent to you. But just for clarification for him, why don't you go ahead and take it away? Let's read this. Team from J dollar sign.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Since I still have a shot at playoffs with help from other matchups, any last-minute trade ideas to address the running back 2 hole specifically with but not limited to team. Jerry's 13th reason who is willing to take Hunt or sell Pacheco. Safe to roll with Taysom rest of the season. Pittsworth high waiver wire claim. Thanks a ton. Okay. So
team name is Garrett 50 Cal, by the way. So
6
currently,
and 6.
Where's he rank? He's 10th.
He's ranked 10th out of 12 here, and he's 6 and 6 so far. Let's have a look at this. So this is a 1 quarterback 12 team start 7. So this is a smaller league. So Joe Burrow, Drake May. So you're starting Joe Burrow on a week-to-week basis. Breece Hall with Kareem Hunt now here. With Isaiah Pacheco. So that RB2 spot is a huge concern for us. At the wide receiver position, you're starting 2 wide receivers, Marlon Harrison, Garrett Wilson. At the tight end position, you have Taysom Hill. And then at that flex option, you can start a Jalen Reed or Jalen Waddle, depending on the matchup there. So you do have some good pieces here. Obviously, these guys need to hit. The biggest question mark moving forward is that RB2 spot. You did mention picking up somebody off the waiver wires.
He mentioned selling Kareem Hunt is what he mentioned.
Safe to roll with Taysom Hill rest of the season. Pittsworth waiver wire claim.
Before that, though, he said Jeremy's 13th reason is willing to take Hunt or sell Pacheco. So first off, let's give his team a grade. From a scale, like the A to F scale.
Yeah.
I think this is to be honest, I'm a little surprised that you're in the playoff conversation right now. Kareem Hunt's probably helped you a ton. Team's not bad, but I just think there's a lot of moves that we can make to improve your team going into the playoffs. I'd say this is like a B minus team.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say like C plus, B minus. I think once these trades happen, we can get this team to a place where we feel more comfortable. So I would agree.
Yeah. All right. So the positions that matter the most in your league, there's really, like, I think running back's the most important in such a small format, then wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, in that order. And you've got a heavy hitter type of league, all right? And what do we mean by that? Well, start 7. You can literally only start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 single flex. Depth does not matter. So Michael Pittman, Rome Odunze, Jalen Waddle. I'm sorry, but even Jaden Reed, these guys, I do not care about them. They do not matter to me anymore. I want to turn these guys, 2 of them, into a player I can actually trust. And we want to do that across the board. Now, here's what I'll say, Badaki. The untouchables in this league, I would not move Breece Hall, and that's my only untouchable. I'm not moving Breece Hall. His playoff schedule is too good. There's no way he's going off my team. Now, as far as drops or holds, I definitely think we want to hold on to Marvin Harrison. And I definitely think we want to hold on to Joe Burrow. And as far as drops, you can drop Isaiah Likely. The first thing I would suggest to do is go get Chris Olave. I'm begging you, go get Chris Olave. Why is Chris Olave on the waiver wire? I understand that he has a concussion. There's a chance he doesn't come back. Drop Isaiah Likely instantly and go pick up Chris Olave. You are going to thank yourself if he comes back. If he doesn't come back, okay, then drop him. Move on with your life. But if he comes back, you might have a legit starting option in the playoffs that is probably better than Jaden Reed, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, right? I mean, he would instantly garner, without a Rachaad White there, like 8 to 10 targets a game. And we have seen him be good without Rachaad White in the lineup. So, number 1 move, let's go pick up Chris Olave. This is a great feature we have on our website when you get a team review from us where we can see your waiver wire. I would also be looking to pick up Nick Chubb, and I would drop Amir Abdullah. So we'll drop Abdullah, we'll pick up Chubb. And I'm not sure I would keep Odunze over Coleman, but right now, because of the injury, I think it makes sense. Now, beyond that, Badaki, let's go to the whiteboard, the chalkboard now. And collectively, we're going to cook up a ton of ideas for you right now. We really are, because I think there's a lot of movement you can make. So like I said, we're dropping Likely, we're picking up Olave. We're dropping Abdullah, we're picking up Chubb. Those 2 moves instantly, I think, improve your team already. I don't think you really need to roster Drake May. Actually, your quarterbacks are pretty weak on the waiver wire. Yeah, let's keep Drake May. Okay, but again, everything we do is improve the starting lineup. Okay? So, AKA, depth means nothing. It means nothing to us anymore. All right? So, players we want to package include Kareem Hunt, include Jalen Waddle, include Jaden Reed, include Michael Pittman, Rome Odunze. Is there another name that I'm missing?
No, that's it.
Yeah. So those are the names that we would like to package in a deal to improve our starting lineup. We send a Kareem Hunt and a Michael Pittman, and we get an actual starting running back. We send a Waddle and Pittman, and we get a better starting wide receiver. That's every move we make. That's the kind of deals that we want to end up with, okay? So let's find out who has Isaiah Pacheco, because he already told us that guy is willing to buy Kareem Hunt. And that owner is Jeremy's 13th Reason. I'd love to target T. Higgins, but if we move Hunt, we really need to get a running back in return.
Yeah, that's the problem here, and he has Tony Pollard.
Do you trade Hunt straight up for Pollard? Pollard's got a pretty good playoff schedule.
I mean, I think that's a start. I think if we can do that, get Tony Pollard, because in reality, Tony Pollard is most likely going to be worth more than someone that's in the backfield with Isaiah Pacheco right now. So let's do that. Get Tony Pollard, and then utilize him as well in a package with all those names. So
we can. I just want to quickly say, by the way, his schedule in the playoffs, in the week before the playoffs, he has the Jags twice, week 14 and 17. He has the Bengals and the Colts. Literally, week 14 onwards, he'll have the best schedule rest of the season, point blank period, of any running back. So if you do this, you can move Pollard, and you and I will want to, but you also don't have to either. He could be your RB2, so that's an ideal move if you can get that done. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in there real quick.
Yeah, no, and I agree. So then you can package Tony Pollard with Waddle, with Reed, with Pittman, and see if you can even booster your RB room to the next level. Can you get into the range of the Jacobs? Can you get into the range of the guys that we like for the rest of the season schedules, just like Tony Pollard? So yeah, I would agree there.
All right, well, I think next what we should try to do is let's try and package Jalen Waddle. It's a great week to do it, finally. And Michael Pittman, another great week to do this, okay? Two guys who finally had decent games. One of them a blow-up game. We want to package those guys and get a actual starting wide receiver that we can rely on. So let's look at it's Jover, for example. I mean, would you do something like this where you get Sutton and Aaron Jones? And if we did that, what we would have to do is we'd have to also include Kareem Hunt. All right, so a 3 for 2. Kareem Hunt and Waddle and Pittman for Aaron Jones and Sutton. If that needs to be Tony Pollard, if you make that deal, I think that makes sense as well. Pollard, Waddle, and Pittman for Aaron Jones and Sutton. All right, so that automatically is a trade that makes a ton of sense for you. How about George Pickens? Let's go get a George Pickens in this deal. Waddle and Pittman for George Pickens, I would do. Straight up, right?
Yep, agreed. Yeah. Brother George.
Let's keep looking here. We've got, Tank Juice. Yeah, we just talked about him. How about, can we go get a T. Higgins? Right? Well, we've already talked about that, but yeah, this guy, the issue is he's going to want Kareem Hunt, and you can't make it like Kareem Hunt and Pittman for Higgins, which would be great, but then you're going to be stuck without an RB2. I guess you rely on Nick Chubb if you do that.
Yeah, but that's still not a good person to rely on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it has to be like a building block. Like, you can do that trade, but then you have to secure a running back in another trade. I think it's going to be one of those things. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to, let me go find another deal to put in place, and then trying to accept those at the same time.
Yeah.
Type
How about good enough to compete? They have a lot of options here. They've got Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, and JSN. So we can do deals where we do like Waddle, Pittman for Metcalf if he's tired of seeing JSN go off on his bench. We can do Jalen Waddle and Michael Pittman for Mike Evans, who didn't really have the best game this week, but if you look at the peripherals, they're all really good. He just wasn't really needed. Jalen Waddle and Michael Pittman. We could also add Kareem Hunt into here and sneak our way into Najee Harris. So we'll add Kareem Hunt plus Waddle plus Pittman, and then we're going to get back a Najee Harris, which I'd like to sell if we did, but a Najee Harris and a Mike Evans as an example, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another idea that could make a lot of sense.
That guy doesn't have a tight end either, so I think you need to go pick up Kyle Pitts, in my opinion, because you can use that. You can use that as a trade. I guess trade bait in some sort of way, or you can use your other tight end like a Taysom Hill as a trade bait. So I'm gonna add that to the
How about man, I'd like to go get AJ Brown from this guy who has Jennings and Debo. He's probably really concerned right now. So let's go do Pittman, Waddle for AJ Brown. I think we might have to add something onto this, like I mean, honestly, I would also throw him like Roma Dunze if that. It's probably not going to get accepted, but I would throw him Roma Dunze if it moved the needle. I think that's really your only other option is adding Roma Dunze. Again, just putting your foot in as many doors as we possibly can. You know, some of these deals aren't going to get accepted. We know that. All right. I mean, is there another idea you have out there?
I think these are great ideas. Honestly, I think we gave you a lot of ideas to get a couple running backs, a couple wide receivers. I think the biggest priority here, if you can't package your 2 wide receivers like the Waddles and Pittmans and really try to hit on a running back there, it's just really tough with certain scenarios because nobody is going to want to trade your running back. So you might have to pay a even pretty penny to go out and get one. But I mean, if you can get it done, I would, however way you can put yourself in that situation, send Waddle, Pittman, and Kareem Hunt. Go and see if you can get a Joe Mixon. Like, do a 3-for-1.
Well, I was going to say, something. How about this guy who has Christian McCaffrey? Right now, my website is not responding. I don't know if that's just me. Okay, my tabs are a little frozen right now. Okay, here we go. We're back. So, okay, the Christian McCaffrey owner already has Jacobs and Hubbard. I want to package Waddle plus Hunt plus a Dunze. Will that end me up with a CMC? I would also do Waddle plus Pittman. Honestly, I would go hard on this. I would go Waddle, Pittman, Hunt for CMC. Okay? Because, again, if you get a deal done like this, that guy doesn't really need CMC. He already has good running backs anyway. And if you get rid of 3 assets, you don't know if you can even start for an asset that everybody's undervaluing right now. That's just my personal opinion. Then you remove Waddle, Pittman, Hunt from your team. Okay, fine. But now your starting lineup is Burrow, CMC, Brees, Marvin, Garrett Wilson, Reed. That's by far a much better lineup, easily. I also think Jay Ganja has a great idea there as well. I love that you're going there, Jay Ganja, because I was thinking that might be a good idea as well. Trying to do a Waddle for a Chuba deal. Like, I wouldn't even mind doing Waddle and a Dunze. Or right now you have Abdullah. Could you do like Waddle plus Abdullah and just get that guy off your team before you pick up Nick Chubb, right? That could work as well. And then honestly, if I got this deal done, I might try and package like Chuba and Pittman and go upgrade again. So that's exactly what we want to do across the board with your team. Again, a start 7 is a heavy hitter lineup. We have terminologies for every type of starting lineup. And again, that will be reflected with your playbook. Your playbook will be sent to the message tab where this review is within 48 hours. And yeah, I honestly think just in the span of 5 to 10 minutes that we took just in, we have given you an incredible opportunity to drastically improve your team. I really do. There's a lot of options there, a lot of good ideas, and I am very confident that you can get something done. You can improve this team drastically. Again, like we said, go pick up Nick Chubb, drop Abdullah, try and get a deal done with Abdullah first if you can. Go pick up Chris Olave, drop Isaiah Likely, and I would pick up Kyle Pitts and drop Drake May maybe, because you've got Burrow. Let's be honest, you're not going to need Drake May. You can pick up Matthew Stafford if you have to find a backup. But yeah, again, that playbook will be sent to your DMs on the Flock Fantasy website within 48 hours. If you're out there, guys, and you want this last little push towards the playoffs, just a little help on ideas, how to make your team the most dangerous team when you enter the playoffs, when it matters the most. Because, yes, we want to make the playoffs. Great. We also want to win the whole damn thing. And this playbook is going to help you get there. I did see someone, Hailstorm, says, how do I get my team up there as well? and I'll walk you guys through how to do that. I've got a link that I've been pasting in the chat for you. It says get a team playbook here. That link will take you to a page that looks like this. You'll see team review. And if you don't have a free account on Flock Fantasy just yet, then you can sign up with the promo code LAND and add your team. That way you can link it up before you go here. But I'll go for Flock League as an example. All you do is choose your team. So my team name is Do It For Chris. I'll hit continue, and then you'll see Zach and Badaki here. And from now until Black Friday, every team playbook will be done live, okay? So if you're planning on doing one tonight, let us know. We'll stay on. If you want to do one, a little bit later, then we'll be on tomorrow to do them as well. But again, that's the first option with the a la carte store. The other option is if you become a yearly member with us on the Mother Flocker tier, you get a complimentary team review with the playbook. Okay, so two options. The first link, which is the a la carte store. The second link, flockfantasy.com/land. If you become a yearly Mother Flocker member, anyone who becomes a yearly member gets a free playbook and a live team review. The membership is definitely the best bang for your buck. But
yeah, definitely get the membership, or do you? Either way, we appreciate you whether you sign up or not. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much, $sign, for that team review. You should be getting that within 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to be working on them today, so you should have it by the time you wake up tomorrow. And I'm going to be sending all of those team playbooks out from the Dynasty channel that we worked on yesterday, or Zach worked on yesterday when I was out. So appreciate you all, you guys. We do have a super chat here on YouTube.
Well, we have questions on the website first. But by the way, I just was going to say, make sure you click Fantasyland when you do that review. That's for us. But we do have a super chat, but we have to prioritize these website questions first. Y'all know that. We will get to that super chat. Go ahead.
Hayden Dodge. So starting Jalen Hurts, considering I'm going to be going James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown. Gosh, all these guys should be started here. We might be starting them in the flex potentially.
Yeah.
Let's hold that. Let's go wide receiver first. So you're starting Puka. I will start George Pickens.
Same.
At the tight end position, you have Zach Ertz, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews.
I'll go Andrews.
Yeah, I'm going to go Andrews as well. Okay, so then you have to start two of these running backs here.
Yeah, I feel like your running backs are your better options than like your Tyreeks, Jennings.
And Jennings. The question is,
how do you sit one of these names?
Breaking it down here, obviously James Cook playing on what is a Sunday night. Apparently that's going to be a snow game. Kenneth Walker going against the Jets, and then Chase Brown going against
the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Great matchup.
Oh boy.
I would say
tells me Chase Brown and James Cook. I would say Chase Brown and James Cook, but I don't know how you can sit Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, so we both agree on Chase Brown. So let's start there. We both agree on Chase Brown. Now, I'll make my case for sitting James Cook. Ken Walker versus the Jets, he's been getting more targets. He's been a reliable name. We know Ken Walker can go for, honestly, either of these guys can go for 30 on any given week. I think there'll be a little more desperation with the Seahawks, given they're trying to get into the playoffs. But I don't mind which way you go. I'm just going to lean Ken Walker against the Jets, and James Cook is a fine option too. Honestly, what I would try and do is try and consolidate this lineup a little bit. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I'm going to go James. I think there's more narratives for them to run the ball. Obviously, it's going to be a snowing game. If it's going to be like the Cleveland game, I mean, I was surprised that they even threw the ball, to be completely honest with you, the way they did when it was downpouring with snow. But I'm going to go James Cook because he's been getting opportunities in the goal line as well. So I'm just going to go there.
You honestly can make a case for either name. You really could. Like, I was thinking about it now, and I'm just like, oh my God, you could honestly go either way. You really could.
Hopefully that helps. Liquid Mama. He says, I can't add Tillman or Disley, but those are my other players. this week is a playoffs must win. All right. So you're going to start Joe Burrow for sure. You're starting Chase Brown. I'm going to be starting Kyron Williams.
Yep.
Not sure about Zach.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba. How can you sit him?
Yep. Agreed.
Out of those guys. And then in the flex option, Bucky, Tyrone, DJ, Shakira, and Waddle.
It's Bucky for me. Versus the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. DJ Moore does have a decent game. They're getting him a little bit more involved. He scores a touchdown. I like the way he's been utilized the past 2 games.
Same. It's been great.
And it's been technically, if I'm not mistaken, it's against a team where they're gonna have to throw the ball often. You kind of expect the Lions to be up early. I feel like DJ Moore is a desperation, like the highest upside type of play where Bucky is a safer floor if you need to make it to the playoffs. But that's up to your discretion there. I will go DJ Moore. Zach will go Bucky Irving in a must win. So maybe it depends on who the other person's playing. Like if the other person has, I don't know, a really good flex option, like a Marvin Harrison Jr. and yours is DJ Moore, I'll go DJ. Or if he has a DK Metcalf, I will go DJ. But if he has like a Brian Robinson, or if he has a Tony Pollard, just go with the safer play. At least that's what I would say.
Yeah, Bucky versus the Panthers. I can't not start a running back versus the Panthers. Certainly not Bucky and Rachaad, who are just like the focal point of their offense right now. So that's the way I lean. Love DJ Moore. He was one of my starts of the week last week. That panned out well, but I just have more trust in Bucky with that matchup. And, the Lions were like a top 3 matchup for wide receivers, but they've gotten better.
Yeah.
So it's been good to see. They're now like middle of the pack. Well, it's been good to see for their team, not for fantasy. But all right, Edison with a question over here on YouTube, who says, "Got Purdy. Do I pick up May or A-Rich on waivers right now?" I would start Anthony Richardson this week if you're wanting to play this week. He faces, I believe the Patriots. It's a pretty good matchup, and I said this last week. In good matchups, you can play him. In bad matchups, you shouldn't. This is a good matchup. So yeah. For this week, I'll go Anthony Richardson. Rest of season, it'll be dependent every week on who they play. So it's hard to really pick one rest of season because every week is going to be a different opinion from me.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. Anthony Richardson, I would say. Well, actually, if he's the over Drake May, I would still go Drake May over Anthony Richardson personally. I was gonna say if there's any other options there, like, are you gonna start Matthew Stafford over those guys? Are you gonna start? I doubt Baker Mayfield's available.
No, Baker won't be available. No, I wouldn't start Stafford.
What about I'll start Geno over if he's available. Once again, I'm not sure if these guys are available. I'm just throwing out names.
I'd rather start A-Rich this week personally, but I get it.
Yeah, I would go those names, and I would go Drake May. So maybe that's more confusion there.
I mean, here's what I'll say. Like, Drake May's rest of season schedule is better than A-Rich, but if you're trying to win this week, I think A-Rich has the highest upside.
Sure.
Which so rest of season, Drake May, but, this week, if you need a win, I think A-Rich is, I want to put that upside in my lineup. By the way, Liquid Mama says, "Thanks, guys. Appreciate your help. I started slow, but I'm doing better now. I have a hard time picking anyone playing my Lions, so I'll go Bucky."
That's fair.
Yeah. Guys, we appreciate you so much. There are no more questions through the website. There are no more super chats. So what we'll do is we will answer 5 questions at random, and then we are going to go create more content for you. So we appreciate y'all for being here. 5 questions at random. Again, if you do want your playbook, both for Dynasty or Redraft teams, you can check out the pinned comment where you can get a team review, or you can become a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. But 5 questions at random to end the stream. And let's start with, we just got a super chat, so let's answer that real quick from Achane. It says, start 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, Bucky, Metcalf, Pickens, JSN. Wow.
one wide receiver, one flex. How do you sit
This would
the
be
DK and
Pickens.
JSN? And Neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
Please, Alpha. I mean,
Dude.
actually, you always come here and say, should I start Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, or CeeDee Lamb?
No, I just think he's in a lot of leagues. This is just one of those leagues where it's like an impossible decision to make. I can tell you what my rankings would say. Let me pull them up. You know, typically we have a really good feeling on questions, but when they're so close like this, it's like, damn, man. Like, okay, I love Pickens versus the Bengals. It's a great matchup. I love JSN, but I honestly think Bucky has a safer floor. But if you have Neighbors, how do you sit Neighbors who it sounds like, and you're a Giants fan, but it sounds like they're going to give him 15 targets this week.
I mean,
based off of
I actually don't care. I actually don't care what's happening with him. I just want the first overall pick. Nah, look, I'm gonna go Neighbors, and JSN. I feel like JSN gets peppered with targets. I'm not saying Pickens is not going to have a good game. I just love what JSN has been doing the past couple weeks. I don't think he's gotten. Let me just triple check. I think he's got like double-digit targets in like the last 3 weeks. Am I tripping about that? I'm pulling him up right now. No, this week he had 7 targets. But hell, he's been averaging nearly almost double-digit targets in the last 3 weeks in the way he's been playing. I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I know you're probably concerned about the Jets and Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, they've been playing terribly. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about how lazy they are in the secondary. Obviously, they're coming off a bye week here, and there's so much drama with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just gonna go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. This is also a must-win game, really, for the Seahawks if they're trying to get into contention here. So give me Jackson Smith and Jigba and Malik Neighbors because of what Zach said. Yes, I do believe he's going to get peppered with targets. It might be tough, and they should be playing from behind. So there you go.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no idea what the outcome will be. But here's what I will say. If it was me, it would be Pickens and Neighbors. I love JSN. But are we sure they're going to have to throw the ball against the Jets? And
Sure.
There will be a Metcalf game. It will happen. What I will say is Pickens is the one I feel the best about. And Bucky is the one that has the safest floor of any of the names that you just mentioned. Literally, Bucky has a safer floor than Metcalf, than Pickens, than JSN, and Neighbors. He does. So that's something that you have to consider. Again, like JSN, I love him. I've got his jersey hanging in my closet. But Bucky has the safest floor against the Panthers. So if I'm shooting upside, I'm going Pickens, Neighbors. It sounds like they're going to feed that man. He's been complaining about it, and Brian Daboll agrees. But I think Pickens and Bucky is your safe play. Pickens and Neighbors is your upside. So that's how I feel. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, that's honestly a tough question. That's one of the tougher questions we've had in a while. So yeah. Anyway, appreciate you, Achane. All right, we're gonna answer 5 questions at random to end the stream here. And let's start with Hi, who says Chase Brown, McBride, or Gibbs, Hawkinson. Wow, that's a great question. I'll go Gibbs, Hawkinson, but it's actually a very good question. I think it's very, very close. That's 1 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Let's go. Let's go. Effie here says start 1 full PPR. Moore, Adams, JT, Neighbors. I'd love to start JT in a great matchup, but you have better options. I think it would be Malik Neighbors for me.
Yeah, I'm going Malik Neighbors. Deutschland. Appreciate you, Effie.
All right, that's 2. Let's go. Aaron as 3. Says Murray, Devonta, and Scary Terry for JSN, Ladd, and Mahomes.
Murray, Devonta, and Scary Terry for Jason, Ladd, and Mahomes. I just like Jason and Ladd over Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
I feel like Terry and Jason cancel each other out. I feel like Mahomes and Murray could cancel each other out in any given week. I feel like Mahomes can score like he did this past week. So, just give me Jason, Ladd, and Mahomes because Devonta Smith has been inconsistent.
Yeah. All right. Ryan here says start 2, Jaden Reed, Hopkins, Marvin, Jerry, Judy. For me, this would be Marvin and Reed.
Agreed.
All right, and I think we have one last question that we can do today. By the way, Hale, I see you. We don't see anything through the website yet, but we'll be waiting on that team review. Maybe if you get that through tonight, we can look at that tomorrow. Last one for today. Let's go. Sorry, guys. We can't answer everybody's questions, but let's go. Let's go, Jacob. Start Jonnu or Taysom and Higgins and DK at the flex. This would be Higgins for me. And then at tight end, I have no idea, dude. Like if anyone's telling you they know what's going on at tight end this year, they're lying straight to your face. Like they genuinely are.
I would just say, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I would lean Jonnu, but I don't think anyone has a good answer to that question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jonnu as well. I just feel like Mike McDaniels, once he finds something that works, he just loves to stick to it, and he's found Jonnu Smith, and it's working. So until that fails, you better hope it doesn't fail. For your team, then I'm just gonna go Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm thinking about personally. And he's playing Green Bay. It's a big game. He's going to be utilized.
Unless the weather's a problem, that's where I'm on. But again, guys, if you ever want your questions prioritized and answered, we'll be live tomorrow night. We won't be live on Thanksgiving or Black Friday this week. We'll be live tomorrow night and Saturday. So get your questions in early this week. We'll be live tomorrow. Get your questions in now. You'll be at the top of the queue. If you want your team playbook, then you can get a team review or become a yearly Mother Flocker member. We will see you guys soon. Nothing but love. We appreciate you. Start Sit's already out on the channel, so go watch that.
That's right.
And all love. See you soon.
Love.